Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. It's over for y'all. I'm winning this bet. All right, guys, I joined Brooks' gang. Expose yourself to your deepest fear. After that, fear has no power. This is the third thing that I think holds a lot of people back, which is there are things that I think in life just hold people back from achieving their full potential. And I think it's honestly a tragedy if you're not able to even become aware of these things. So today we're gonna get into it and hopefully allow you to overcome these things so that you can achieve what you want to achieve in life. The first thing is something that we've all dealt with. There's a quote that I want to read first. It goes, "Fear defeats more people than any one thing in the world." First question I want to ask is how many times have you wanted to do something but you stopped because of fear? The first thing that I think about is after I graduated college, I was working at a pharmaceutical company, and it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but it was a comfortable job and it was work from home, very little responsibilities, decent money, enough for me to be comfortable, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted out of life. And I knew this deep down, but I just wanted to have a job, so I just kept doing the job. Eventually, as you guys might have known my backstory already, I was pre-med, and then I started to look at other options after I graduated because I realized that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. One of the options that came up was going to anesthesia school and becoming an anesthetist or an anesthesiologist assistant. This, at first, really excited me because I knew that it fit all the qualifications that I wanted out of a job in terms of the responsibilities, the day-to-day life, the impact that the job would have, the salary, everything was checking all the boxes, and I was just really excited looking at that job from an outside perspective. And I even reached out to some people. I remember there's a guy that was working in Georgetown that I reached out to. Shout out to you, man. You honestly changed my life. Yeah, I reached out to him and he was very encouraging. He took me out to lunch. He was like, "Bro, you should do this. It's difficult, yes, but I know that if you put your mind to it, that you could definitely get it done." For some reason, I just had such a hard time committing to it because I was fearful. I didn't know where that path would take me. And I remember so many sleepless nights not being able to make a decision because ultimately it was the fear and the comfortability of what I was already doing that was holding me back. I thank God to this day that I ended up taking the leap and doing it. But I remember I quit my job at the pharmaceutical company, and I quit, and at first I was really confident about it. And then the next day I was overthinking everything. I was to the point where I think I asked for my job back because I was just that scared of going to anesthesia school. I remember sending that text asking for my job back, and then at that moment it finally clicked in my head that I was allowing fear to hold me back from a potential great opportunity. So another story. This program is very competitive and is becoming even more competitive nowadays as people find out about it because it has good work-life balance, good job, good, it's a good profession. So it's a very competitive program, and there's only a couple of programs in the US, and I only applied to one. I just didn't want to uproot my life, and I just put it in God's hands. I was like, all right, if I get into the school, that means it's meant to be. And I only applied to one school. I applied to one campus, and I was like, all right, whatever happens, happens. It just so happens that I got into that exact program, and they got back to me extremely quick. They were very responsive. And after talking to other people, I realized that wasn't the norm. Other people weren't experiencing that. People would apply, and they wouldn't hear back for weeks at a time, months at a time, and a lot of people didn't get in. The acceptance rate is actually very low. But for some reason, it worked out for me very smooth. I got in, even with all these signs and all these things indicating that this was the right path for me, even though I knew that this was the right path. For some reason, that fear was holding me back from taking that step, from taking that leap. And it almost got me to the point of not taking that step at all because I was just that unsure about what the future would entail and what that path would entail, and also fearful of the amount of work and effort that I would have to put in. And I wasn't sure if I was able to rise up to the task and really be able to be successful if I did that. And this is also around the time that I got into self-improvement. I started reading guys like Napoleon Hill, and he has a book called Outwitting the Devil. And this isn't really a religious book. It's more so, it does have ties to religion, yes, of course, but it's more so a book talking about what holds people back and about fear. And one thing that really stuck out to me in this book was when he said, "Remember that fear is nothing more than a state of mind which is subject to control and direction." Once I realized this, everything really changed because I realized that fear is only in your mind, and it's something that you create for yourself. And that's why everyone's fear is different. Some people would be scared scared of dogs. I used to be scared of dogs. It's getting better now. I'm not as scared. That fear is created in your mind. For everyone, that fear is different. But for another person, like, bro, why are you scared of dogs? Like, it's fluffy. Like, they're man's best friend. Like, what are you scared of? But in your mind, you've created it to be something that's so terrifying that, like, oh, if I allow myself to get near a dog, it's gonna kill me, or something like that. Like, that's the extent of how you can let your fear run your life. In doing that, you're missing out on the greatest things in life. Like, there's a reason why people say that a dog is a man's best friend. It's because it holds truth and reality. Just because you had a bad experience or just because you have fear doesn't mean that that isn't true. It's just because you've held yourself in this certain mindset that keeps you from experiencing that as your reality. There's another quote that really stuck out to me. It goes, expose yourself to your deepest fear. After that, fear has no power. There's a quote by Jim Morrison, and I think that's so true. Like, if you don't expose yourself to your fears, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because a lot of the time after you do what you're so afraid of, you realize that it's not that scary. Okay, so the second thing that I think holds a lot of people back is procrastination. This is the I'll do it later feeling that we all have. And there's a great quote that I think will help us overcome this. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. And the thing about procrastination, or what I've noticed about procrastination with a lot of people, is that it usually involves our own personal dreams and aspirations. Because when it comes to doing work for your employer, you make sure you get it done. You make sure you get it done on time or even early. That's because you know that there's an actual consequence that happens if you don't get that work done. But the thing about our own dreams and aspirations is that we don't have actual consequences if we don't achieve it. So for example, one of my goals is to build a successful YouTube channel that impacts thousands of lives. And the thing about this goal is that if I don't achieve it, or if I don't take the steps that are necessary to achieving it, there isn't a real consequence. Like, I'm not gonna get fired. Like, I'm not gonna lose my apartment. I'm not gonna lose my job. Like, you know, like, there's not gonna be someone knocking at my door, like, trying to get at me if I don't achieve this goal. But the thing about it is that we are the ones that suffer when we don't do the steps that are going to allow us to achieve our goals. And when we continue to procrastinate, it's more of a personal suffering, a mental suffering, knowing that there's something that you wanted to achieve, but you didn't take the steps to achieve it. And because of that, time has been wasted and you're still in the same spot. You have to suffer and live with that reality, which I think is the worst thing that could happen to anyone. And what I've realized is that as you grow older, people tend to give up on their dreams. Like, I'm 27 now, and I know like a lot of people who had very big aspirations and dreams for their 20s, for their life in general. But the thing about life is that life is hard. Life can be really difficult, and you don't expect that as a kid. Like, I know there's a song, the song goes like, I know I can be what I want. Yeah, you all know that song. Like, that song will really have you thinking that you could be whatever you want to be, and you will truly, like, as a kid, that was just like obvious to me. I was like, duh, like, if I want to be this, I could be this. But as you start to live life, you realize that it's not always that easy, and because of that, people start to doubt themselves and they give up on their dreams. So just remember that a year from now, you will probably wish that you had started today. So just imagine the progress that you can make on your goal if you just started today and started with 30 minutes, an hour a day. How much progress you could make towards your goal if you just started making those little steps. So rather than procrastinating, rather than giving up like the majority of people, like, just stay committed to it. You never know what could happen if you just stay committed to the path and do the work. So whatever it is that you've been procrastinating on, I challenge you, start today. Stop this video, pause this video, go start it right now. All right, guys, today I'm trying to go get some new running shoes. So I'm gonna head to the store. I have a bet with some of my friends to see who can run a 5K the fastest by September 1st, and I am behind. I am so behind. These guys are killing me right now. So y'all downloaded Strava. I'm Tim Olukani on Strava. Y'all could go follow me on Strava and keep me accountable. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been really rough. Like, my back hurts when I run, and I just get so tired so quick. So I really gotta work on my cardio, so this will be a great challenge. But part of the issue is that I'm wearing these like Vapor Max, these, let me show you guys these Jones. I'm not sure if y'all can tell, but these are not good shoes for running because the soles are very like thick and not comfortable. It's like my feet is like running on like bricks. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some new running shoes. Hopefully it helps relieve some of the pain when I'm running, but let's do it. I'm gonna bring you guys along. Let's go. Someone in the last video commented and said I should check out the Brooks, so I'm definitely gonna be checking those out and gonna be checking out whatever else they have. Hopefully we can find a good option. But yeah, let's get it. Gonna go there, then gonna make some breakfast, then hit the gym, and we'll get into the last point. All right, we just got to Roadrunner. This is a store where I'm gonna be trying out some shoes. Let's see what they're talking about. Hey, good morning. I was trying to find some new running shoes. Do you mind if I record the process?
Oh, no, I don't mind.
That's fine? Okay, cool. Appreciate it. For running.
How many times a week?
I'm trying to do 2 to 3 times a week. 1 to 3 miles. I get like lower back pain when I run.
Walk normally 2.5 miles an hour.
Right here.
Right inside.
Okay.
So definitely some issues with the Achilles.
I said I was 10.
10.
Yeah.
So you definitely measure.
11.
Yes.
There's a slight motion happening with the left as well. Just roll right here.
Yeah.
The difference in the shoes is the structure.
Okay.
Some shoes have that stability guardrail like we were talking about earlier. Some shoes don't.
First on the outside here.
Okay.
Back on your heel, back on your just like that.
Feels nice.
Yes, sir.
Someone recommended these to me.
The Brooks?
Yeah. Do you mind if I hit the treadmill?
Yeah.
Feel pretty good. These are option. Wow, these are stiff. What I like about those is that like I feel like they propel you forward.
It has a metal rocket.
Rocket. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay, yeah. These are like more flat. All right, those are in the lead right now. These feel amazing. The Sauconies, bruh, it's like I'm walking on clouds. All right, guys, I'm gonna go with the Brooks. These feel amazing. They have this rocking technology that make it just so easy to walk. It kind of like propels you forward, and they're also very comfortable. A lot of cushioning. Apparently, like my ankle's all messed up, so like I require like a more stable shoe. So these have like a lot of support. God, I'm about to be moving fast, guys. I'm about to go fast. It's over for y'all. I'm winning this bet. Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate you, bro.
Good luck with everything, okay?
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. All right, guys, I joined Brooks gang. Shout out to the person who commented that I should get these because, yeah, as soon as I put them on, I just knew like these are the right shoes. About to run fast. Back on my addiction. This is actually an elite flavor. If you guys can get the fizz-free, anything fizz-free, especially peach mango, absolutely, guys. I've been doing a lot better. Haven't been drinking these as much, but today I just needed a little bit of kick of energy, so I'm gonna grab them. Also had to pick up some extra cat food for my friend's cats that were cat sitting, I guess is the word. For the week, I accidentally fed them a little too much, so we ran out of food. They've been eating good with us. Day off, yeah. I know, but I'm working this weekend, so. Air in, all up in my clothes. So good, fizz-free, trust me, fizz-free. All right, guys, I'm watching my guy, How to Beast. I love his YouTube videos. But yes, tune in with this man, see what he's doing. He's in Marbella right now, living a dream. We'll cook us some breakfast. So I love these shoes. They feel really great, but I can't lie, they look so goofy, man.
Have a good day, bye.
Thank you too. Bro, that dog is built like a bear. I think it's terrifying. I was talking about being scared of dogs earlier. That's the type of dog I'm scared of, bro. I don't mess with those. As I was saying, these shoes look mad goofy. I'm looking like freaking a cartoon character. So I'm looking like Goofy. Those cartoon characters where like they try to run, but they stuck in place and their shoes be looking all big. So I'm looking like right now. I'm hating. Maybe once I do my run, I'll like them more. Cause like I said, they're very comfortable. All right, guys, let's get to the gym. Yeah, I'm about to become a beast. What the world? So there's a Russian proverb that says, if you chase one rabbit, you'll catch it. But if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither. And I realized, man, that in life, there are so many different opportunities that it can get hard to decide what to choose. I think a lot of people, including myself, we start on a certain path and then we get very excited on it. We work on that path. And then at some point, we see something else that looks a little more interesting, and that starts to divert our attention. And we think that, oh, maybe if I start that thing, I'll be able to achieve my success faster. And this is the third thing that I think holds a lot of people back, which is shiny object syndrome. After I graduated from anesthesia school, I knew that I wanted to do something on the side to keep me occupied with my time. I started so many things, and I know I can't be the only one who has the feeling yo, I gotta get rich. I gotta do something on the side of my full-time job in order to produce some type of income, just something to fill my time, something productive. I remember after I graduated anesthesia school, there was a period of 3 months where before I started my job, that was a time where I was just really hyper-focused on trying to start something. I remember trying so many different things. Every day I was on YouTube trying to find some magic side hustle. I was looking at drop shipping, affiliate marketing, dumpster rentals. What else? I was looking at the trucking business. I was looking at all these different things. And every day it was I found something new to focus on. I thought that would be my holy grail and thing that would be able to allow me to achieve success. But what I found is that I wasn't able to focus on one specific thing for long enough to ever really see any success. So I would start on something, and then after a week I'd get bored, realize it was a lot harder than I thought it was. I looked at wholesaling houses and things like that. I did a lot of random stuff. I would start on these different paths, and then I realized yo, this is actually a lot harder than I thought, and then I'd be pause, and then I find something else that seemed to be easier on the outside, then start that, and then realize it was difficult as well, and I just kept doing that. But what I realized is that if I just focused on one path and just really committed to it, doing the boring things even when it was hard, then I would have probably been a lot further than if I just kept jumping around, always looking for a new opportunity. And I realized the same thing was happening to me with this YouTube channel and fitness content, self-improvement content and all that. I actually started this a long time ago. I started posting TikToks and Instagram Reels, things like that. And then after a while, I got distracted and I stopped because it wasn't growing as quickly as I wanted it to. And after that, I was dang, maybe I should do something more tangible. Maybe I should start an actual business. Maybe I should, I just started looking at other options. In doing that, I just ended up stopping the progress I was making with content, focusing on other things. Those things went nowhere. And then coming back to content, realizing that if I had just kept going on that path and kept making incremental progress, that would have been a lot further than if I had diverted my attention to all these different things. And I really think that this is an effect of our current generation where we all want things very fast, and we think that the effort to achieve something is a lot lower than it actually is. And it's because of social media, because we see everyone living these glamorous lifestyles, and we believe that it should be attainable quickly for us. And if it's not, we get discouraged and we give up. But that isn't the way that we should approach things. There's a book by Cal Newport called Deep Work. And I think if you read that book, it will change the way that you approach work in general, because our attention now is so fragmented by social media, by doom scrolling and all these things, that it's very hard for us to focus on one thing for a long period of time in order to see the results of that work. So try to go against the grain of the majority of people who are jumping from one thing to another, because I feel I talk to people all the time and they'll experience the same thing where I experienced, where they're always changing what they were doing. One day they're doing streaming, another day they're doing they just be doing other stuff. So the way to go against the grain nowadays, and I think it's easier than ever because everyone's attention is so messed up, is to just do one thing for a long period of time. Do the boring work even when you don't want to. Keep doing it, keep showing up, and in just doing that, you're ahead of 99% of people, because the other 99%, they got discouraged, they stopped, and they're switching to do something else that they think might bring them some type of magical success. But the thing about success, at least from what I've observed, what I've experienced in the gym and showing up every day and realizing that it takes a lot longer to achieve a result than what you initially think. So just applying that same mentality into everything else has been really helpful for me, and just created an outcome that I didn't really even expect, but because of the process that I had dialed into and I committed to, that's what led to that result. Ultimately, Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is don't fall into the trap of shiny object syndrome. Focus on one thing at a time. Commit to it for 3 to 5 years, not 2 to 6 months that people say, 3 to 5 years. And over that time horizon, you're definitely going to make progress as long as you commit to the process. Also, drop in the comments what you think might be holding you back. All right, guys, gonna get home, shower, make some lunch. I think I have some salad and chicken that I'll be eating for lunch today. I'm actually working this weekend. That's the one thing about my job that's a little annoying, is that every once in a while I have to work a weekend, but today is gonna be pretty chill, and yeah, let's get this food, man. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. If you made it all the way to the end, like always, I very much appreciate you. Just gonna enjoy the rest of this day by going on a walk, into some food, enjoying this nice spring weather. It's very nice outside, so just gonna enjoy it for a little bit. I just ran into these guys on the street. They want to do some tricks. Say what's up, guys.
Good. What's up?
What's y'all's names? Evan? Gabriel?
His name's Bob.
Bob?
Yeah.
Damn, okay. That's tough. What you about to do, bro? Jeez, these kids are wild. Look at that, no hands, no hands, my God. All right, y'all take it easy. Hey man, them kids wild, bro. Anyways, guys, surprise ending, I did not expect that, but I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.